Yo, what's good to Mascot? We back out with another video, man. Today's video, I got you guys with this new rare two-way point power forward build in NBA 2K24. Now, this actually was a pretty popular build from last year. I know you guys definitely will like this build this year. Pretty solid build right here. Today, let's get straight into it. I'm gonna show you guys how to make it. So obviously this stuff right here is personal preference, and then we are a two-way point power forward, so make sure you go power forward in order to get this build name. I did go 6'8". I think 6'8" is the perfect height for this build. If you want to go taller, I'm pretty sure you could, but again, I think 6'8" is definitely the perfect height. And then I did go 228 on the weight because I want to have at least an 81 speed and a 73 acceleration. That's what you need for your badges. And then wingspan, now you definitely do want to max this out, and the reason for that, unfortunately, in order to get this build name, your mid-range shot and your three-point shot cannot be anything higher than a 77. So for that reason, might as well max the wingspan out. So we went 6'8", 228 max wingspan. Alright, moving on to the actual build. So I am going to get the physicals out the way first, like I usually do. So we are going to max out the speed and acceleration. 81 speed will give you your silver speed booster badge, and 73 excel will give you silver blow by and fast feet. So make sure those are both maxed. And strength, I definitely did want to have a decent strength on this build. At least go like 71. 71 will give you that bronze immovable enforcer. I went 74 though for the bronze bulldozer and brick wall. Pretty nice. Since we are a power forward, I did want to have decent amount of strength. And vertical, I put the vertical to a 74 because we will have a 78 block, so this will give us silver chase down artist. And then I put the stamina to a 95. That will give us gold workhorse and like handles for days and 94 feet and stuff. Alright, now that the physicals are done, let's get straight into making this build. So we are going to start off with finishing. I did put the driving dunk to an 80. Now, unfortunately, with this build, you cannot have contact dunks. If you go anything higher than an 80 driving dunk, it will change the name of the build. So just keep in mind, 80 driving dunk is the maximum, which is definitely not bad. I also did put the layup to a 65. That is the bare minimum with our ball handle. So here's all the badges you get. Unfortunately, we don't get fearless because you do need a 70 layup for that. But besides that, like I said, you guys can see all the badges for yourself. Can't really go much higher than an 80 driving dunk. It will change the name of the build. So you get bronze posterizer, slithery, precision dunker, aerial wizard, and 80 driving dunk will give you pretty decent dunk packages. Definitely not bad. And then I did go 40 standing dunk. That actually will give you two-hand basic under the basket dunks. Pretty nice to have. So yeah, that's pretty much all we did for finishing. Alright, now moving on to shooting with this build. Now, like I did say, in order to get this build name, your mid-range shot and your three-point shot cannot be anything higher than a 77. If you go 78 and above, it will change the name of the build. So I put the mid-range to a 72. You could go 77. That is the maximum, but I did go 72 for that silver mini magician and silver open looks. And then I put the three-point shot to the maximum, a 77. Can't go 78. Unfortunately, it will change the name of the build, so you have to go 77. Now, 77 actually doesn't really get you nothing, as you guys see. So you could stop at 76. 76 will give you bronze agent and silver corner specialist. I just went 77 since it is the maximum. And then I did go 72 free throw, which will give us bronze free points badge, which is pretty nice. Alright, moving on to playmaking with this build. Now, since we are a point power forward, well, we're a two-way. In order to get this build name, you do need pretty high pass accuracy. You need at least an 87. Just keep that in mind. If you want to go higher, you definitely could. It just has to be at least an 87. If you go 86 and below, it will change the name of the build. So in order to get this build name, you need at least an 87 pass accuracy for that bronze bailout. It's not bad. That also will unlock a lot of good pass styles. Gold break starter, dimer, needle threader, relay passer, touch passer, and special delivery. Pretty good badges. Like I said, if you want to go higher, definitely could. That's just the bare minimum. And ball handle, I'm pretty sure this does have to be at least an 81. That will give you your silver speed booster badge. I maxed it out to an 85. As you guys see, that will give you 2 extra badges. It will give you silver blow by, and it also will give you gold ankle breaker and more dribbling animations. But like I said, 81 is the bare minimum. And then I did go 75 speedo ball. That will give you all your silver badges and all the good dribble styles like Magic Johnson and stuff like that. But like I said, if you want to stop at 81, for that silver speed booster, you could, because 84 gives you silver blow by and 85 is ankle breaker. If you don't care about those, could stop at 81. That's the bare minimum. I just went 85 just in case you want the extra animation and stuff like that. And then of course 75 speed ball gives you all your badges and all your good dribble styles. Alright, now moving on to defense with this build. Now we are a two-way point power forward. We are a two-way, so obviously this build is going to have pretty good defense. Now interior defense, here is a very key stat. In order to get this build name, your interior defense does have to be at least a 73. If you go 72 and below, it will change the name of the build to like a playmaking 4 or something. So if you want this build name, your interior has to be at least a 73. I went 74. That will give you bronze post lockdown, but it has to be at least a 73. Again, you can go higher if you want to. Perimeter defense, in order to get this build name, again, your perimeter defense does have to be at least an 87. If you go 86 and below, it will change the name of the build. So make sure you at least go 87. If you want to go higher, go ahead. That's just the bare minimum. 87 is cool. That gives you gold challenger, clamps, ankle braces, fast feet, pick dodger, 94 feet, workhorse, and off-ball pest. I did put the steel to 185 as well for silver glove, interceptor, right stick ripper. Keep in mind, these stats right here are baselines, but if you want to go higher, you definitely could. These are just the baseline stats, like I said. And now for the block. Now you definitely do want to have at least like bronze anchor in my opinion. So at least get this to a 77 for the bronze anchor. But again, I did go 74 vert. As you guys see, the requirements for silver chase down is a 78 block and 74 vert. So you definitely want to go 78 block. That will give you silver chase down and bronze anchor. And you do have good interior defense with bronze post lockdown. That should definitely be way more than enough. And now, since we are a power forward, I did want to have some decent rebounding on this build. I put the offensive rebound to a 70. That will give you rebound chaser and box out beast. And again, I put the defensive rebound to a 70 as well. I did want to have decent rebounding stats on this build since we are a power forward. 70 and 70. Bronze box up beast, rebound chaser. In my opinion, I think that's definitely way more than enough. And as you guys can see, this is the two-way point power forward build right here. You got really good defense, as you would expect. We are a two-way, good perimeter, good steal, good block. Like I said, here's pretty much all the badges you get. You guys can see for yourself. Pause the video if you need to. Like I said, the physicals are the way they are for the badges. 73XL, 81 speed. And of course 74 strength, vertical and stuff like that. Unfortunately, the only thing that kind of does suck about this build is we do have low shooting stats, but unfortunately we don't have a choice. Your shooting cannot be anything higher than a 77, so that's probably the main downside about the build. But if you could shoot good with a low 3-ball, you should be fine here. You can still get pretty good bases like JT Thor and Dyson Daniels, and you still do have an 80 driving dunk. Unfortunately, no contact dunks, but 80 driving dunk, you still will get a lot of good animations, and you do have good standing dunk. Pretty solid build right here. And as you guys can see, this build does have shades of Jalen Williams, Al Harrington, and Draymond Green. Like I said, this build is called a two-way point power forward. Pretty rare build name right there. This build did pretty crazy on 2K23, so I know you guys definitely will like it this year. If you guys did enjoy this build, make sure you guys do hit the like button and subscribe. Also, let me know what you guys thought about it in the comment section below. I definitely will be dropping the regular point power forward. I know you guys definitely will like that as well. But besides that, that's pretty much it. If you guys have any other builds you guys would like me to make a video on, please let me know down in the comment section below. I really would appreciate it. But yeah, make sure you guys drop a like, subscribe if you're new, and I'm out.